Hi guys, this is part two. For those of you that are actually watching this, thank you for listening to my ranting and raving. My cam's still a little bit high here. Can I get it to come down without falling off? Probably not. I think my chair's a little bit too low. Anyway, so yeah, for those of you that didn't see part one, my roommate left my house, took a lot of my things, ransacked everything, and stole my dog. Okay, I went on about that. And yes, I'm a little scraggly because I am trying to grow back my goatee right now, although I'll probably end up having to shave it off again, and my hair is the gray is quickly growing out because that's what happens with my family. We go gray quickly. It grows out fast too. So what are you going to do? Time to buy another box of color. Anyway, so this is kind of where I'm at. And I'm trying a little experiment here. I've got two computer screens, and on this second one I've got a softer light, warmer light. I've got a picture of a sunset which is very, very yellow, so if I look a little yellow, it's because I'm using an orange and yellow sunset to kind of give a little bit of warm light to this video. So I'm experimenting a little bit here because the fluorescent light's just a little bit too intense, and the other light I got in the corner just doesn't seem to be enough. And it's getting to be daylight out, so I figured I'd experiment a little bit. Anyway, beyond that, my life is just in its usual turmoil. Upside down, backwards, sideways, inside out. I can't even begin to explain it. I can't even begin to go into it. It's just insanity. I try and try and try, and it doesn't seem to get me anywhere. But I continue. So, I recently talked to somebody, and I was told that I'm very weak, okay? And yeah, I do have a tendency to break down, and I will cry, okay? But, last year I had a lot of problems when Newport was here. And, I kind of lost it a little bit at a couple of points. And so a friend recommended that I go see a psychologist, okay? And I went to go see this psychologist. And I sat down with this woman, and she said, "So tell me what's going on in your life." So I kind of explained to her the last 3 years and what had gone on and everything. And so I said to her, so I'm pretty screwed up, huh? She said, "Mark," she said, "you know what?" She says, "Anybody around you can say anything they want, but had any normal person been through anything like what you've been through, they'd have lost it. They would have been in a mental institution. So if anybody tells you that you're weak, they're out of their mind. Okay? Because you are the strongest person I know. Because no matter what happens, you still keep going. Yeah, you lose it, you have your weak moments, okay? But you still keep going. You're still here. Anybody else would have just said forget it and gone a long time ago. And yeah, maybe I've been through a lot, okay? In a short period of time. Over a period of 2 years, I lost both of my grandmothers, okay, and my mom. Alright, I lost my mom to cancer. I watched her slowly fade away from strongest person I'd ever known into just a shell of what she was. And because of the morphine she was on a daily basis, her mind had just gone. She wasn't the person that she was. I can remember one night getting called to the hospital at 2 in the morning. Okay, she called me, and she said that that the biker men were being allowed to run through the halls, and that I needed to come there. And I'm like, "Ma, what are you talking about?" She's like, "Come here right now. The biker men are running the halls. I'm scared." So I get dressed. I'm looking like a mess. I go to the hospital. And it turned out that she was watching Orange County Chopper. That show where the guys customize the bikes for movies and for people and everything else. Right? It's pretty good. Okay, it's reality television. But my mother was on so much morphine that she could no longer distinguish between reality and non-reality. And so she would watch TV and watch reality shows and not know the difference. At one point she had said that Oprah was there earlier, I mean, there's all these different things that she would watch, and whatever was going on television, that's what she took to be the reality of the moment, because the morphine just had her so screwed up. I mean, when you're a terminal cancer patient, all right, what ends up happening is you basically, when you're about to go into hospice, you're allowed to have any amount of anything you want. If you say that you want excessive amounts of any drug, okay, that helps you feel better, that comforts you, they will let you have it. I mean, I've heard of people sitting there and just getting all the medicinal pot they can get. With my mother, she was on morphine because what had happened was she'd originally had cancer, and it moved into, it was in her cervix, all right, and when they went to go remove it, all right, or when they went to go kill it, they'd put in a radiation implant, and when they went to remove the radiation implant, they poked through her uterus and spread all these cancer cells throughout her abdomen, okay, and towards her back. And then the cancer was, I guess, they thought it was in remission, but it wasn't. They'd spread all these live cancer cells into her back, where they continued to grow, and they attached themselves to her spine, and they destroyed part of 2 or 3 of her vertebrae. So she had to go in for this surgery to partially reconstruct her back, and also to get rid of the cancer, but it was going to be a very painful surgery. And so she went for the beginning part of it, and then she couldn't do it. She decided that it was too painful. But she didn't understand that that was to be the most painful part of it, and that if she'd gone and done the second surgery, that it wouldn't have been so bad, that the pain would have subsided in a couple of days. But she was scared of it, so she put it off, and she kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And because her back had been opened up, and they saw, the cancer got oxygen, it started spreading like crazy, because that's what happens. Once it's been exposed to oxygen, to air, it just starts spreading like mad. And so the cancer just exponentially took over her back. And it just got to a point inside of 7 days where it just could not be stopped anymore. And they called me into the hospital and told me that there was nothing they could do anymore, because she had put the surgery off for too long. So she essentially ended up doing it to herself, and I kind of never forgave her for that. Okay, I mean, I realized it wasn't her fault. She was scared, but I was very hurt because I kind of felt like she left me. So she wanted to come home, but she went from the hospital to a nursing home for a while, and then after 4 months in the nursing home, when she got to be too much, she came home, and she was just on excessive amounts of morphine, and I had to deal with her rantings and ravings because of what she watched, so I kind of controlled what she watched for a while. And she had a few moments of clarity, not much, but a few. And it was just bad. I watched the strongest person I know in the world fade away into a shell of what she was. And in the last days, I kind of knew it was coming. And when she got to the point where she didn't know me anymore, I knew that we were hours away, and it was. So I was there with her, and my children were there with her. And I was holding her hand as she slipped away. And it really ripped me apart. So I went through a lot. I went through a lot in a very short period of time. Also at that time, I found out that the marriage that I was in was not what I had believed it to be. That I had been lied to about a lot of things. And of course the video, I only have 45 seconds. I guess we're going to make this a 3-parter today, guys. I just kind of need to get this out. So I'll continue this in just a minute.